The fillet blend tool allows you to create surface fillets in a tool-like manner as opposed to selecting some isoparms and actually running an action. Let me create a simple scene to demonstrate. We have a plane. I'm going to duplicate it, move the plane off to the side. And what I'm going to do is create a fillet from this edge down to this edge using this tool. So I'm going to surface fillet, grab the fillet blend tool, and I won't worry about the options just yet. Now, notice down on the bottom of the screen, the help line is telling us how to use this. Select surfaces for the left edge. Now we'll press Enter. Select surfaces for the right edge. Press Enter, and we get a fillet right in between the two. Very quick, very easy. Now, do be aware that Maya is using left and right in place of surface 1 and 2. Why they chose that when so many other tools use surface 1 and 2, I will never know. But they decided that left and right would work better in this case. Let's go over to our attribute editor, and we can see the blend surface 1 node that is actually being used to produce this surface. And we can also go back into our surface fillet and open up our tool options. Now, the first thing we have is auto normal direction, which is going to allow Maya to figure out the best orientation for this surface when it creates it. In most cases, this will give you the results you're looking for as far as preventing any sort of twisting or the surface kind of overlaying on itself. If you should end up with a problem, you can switch this off and reverse normals on your own on one surface or another. Like in this case, I can switch this off and reverse the normals on left or right, which on this particular shape isn't going to make any difference. So I can leave auto normal on and have no change. Now, if, let's say I delete this, and let's grab this plane, and let's rotate it in Y, 180 degrees, like so. So it looks exactly like it did a minute ago. But now we're going to grab one edge, press Enter, grab the opposite edge, press Enter, and now look at this. We have a twisted surface. Even though we had auto normal on, in this particular case, it doesn't quite work the way we want it to. So we need to reverse one of the surfaces. We can't do any reversing at all until we switch off auto normal. Then we can reverse the left or reverse the right, whichever one we want to get the outcome we're looking for. Now, we have auto anchor. This is not really going to be all that important until we start using fillets on periodic surfaces, such as spheres or cylinders, so I'll talk about that actually in a separate example. We have left start and left end. Again, remember, left is surface 1, so we can control where the start is along the edge, and we can control where the end is as well. We have right start. We can control that on the secondary surface. So you can create just a little tiny strip as opposed to going the entire length of the surface. And really that's about it. From there you have quality where you can control the position and tangential tolerances of this operation. You can also choose whether or not to use multiple knots. And switching this on will apply multiple knots at all of the knot points in this surface. This will give you a more accurate representation of the surface, but probably won't look good if you plan to do any animating or deforming of the surface later on. In most cases, to be honest, when I'm working with this, I'll leave multiple knots off, because you still get this really nice looking, smooth flowing surface without it. So that's all there is to that as a beginning example. Now let's create something just a little more complex so we can take a look at that anchoring. I'm going to start off with a cylinder, and then we'll get a cone and move it up. Now these are two periodic surfaces. Let's rotate this off to the side, kind of slide it over, and maybe scale it down just a little bit from there. And we'll grab our tool again, select one isoparm, press Enter, select the opposite isoparm, press Enter, and we get a fillet that goes right in between the two. Now in this case, we can start playing with this auto anchor. And what auto anchor is going to do is help us when we start rotating two shapes that are close together in a periodic form. Watch as I rotate this around. See what the fillet's doing? Constantly readjusting its detail to make up for the fact that there are subtle differences taking place as I rotate this around. So you can kind of see adjustments being made. If I were to switch off auto anchor, something really interesting happens. Switch over here to our kill out auto anchor. Now as I rotate, look at this. The surface actually twists up over itself until it makes it all the way around to a 360 turn. Auto anchor prevents such twisting by constantly updating the surface depending on how the geometry is lining up. If we want, we can leave auto anchor switched off, and we can control where along the surface the right side is going to anchor, and where along the surface the left side is going to anchor. So we can actually control that twisting on our own. So check this out. See, I'm tweaking the twisting by hand. You can still control left and right starts. So we can slide this back, so now we're only kind of closing in half of that. And that's really all there is to it. It's just a way for you to create a fillet in a more tool-like manner and then make adjustments to it after the fact. So that is going to wrap things up for this video. Thanks a lot.